What's going on, YouTube? I'm Ben Hauver, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top player props available on Prizepicks for Wildcard weekend in the NFL. I've got 3 props for today's video that look like really solid early week values, and the theme of today's video and these props is trust what you know. We've witnessed 18 weeks of regular season NFL action leading up to these playoffs, and at this point, we have a large enough sample size to feel really confident about some things. One thing that I feel incredibly confident about is that week in and week out, every time the Bengals touch the field, Joey Burr is going to be looking to Jamar Chase. And I think he's going to be looking there a lot. 78.5 receiving yards for Jamar Chase. This is an NFL superstar wide receiver who knows one thing and one thing only as a pro, and that's that football doesn't stop until February. This time last year, the Bengals began their sun run. You know, they ripped off 3 wins in a row, made it to the Super Bowl in Jamar Chase's rookie season, only to fall short in the biggest moment. Now, year 2 for Jamar Chase, year 2 in the playoffs. Jamar Chase has solidified himself as one of the best offensive players in the entire league, and he is equipped to a squad with Super Bowl aspirations. Despite missing 5 games this season, Jamar Chase still finished with, it's just crazy to think about, 134 targets, 87 receptions. That's 6 more than in his rookie year when he played all 17. Misses 5 games, finishes with 87 catches, 1,046 yards and 9 touchdowns, 10.1 targets per game on average for Jamar Chase, one of only 6 players in the entire league to average double-digit targets on a weekly basis. Trust what you know, right? And I trust Jamar Chase and his target share more than almost anything else in the league right now. 12 games played this season, Jamar Chase had 10 plus targets in 9 out of those 12 games, only went under 8 targets one time this season, and that right there is trust. I trust that this offense is going to feed their best player the ball every opportunity that they have. Plain and simple, they've done it all year, and I think they're going to continue to do it right now when the games matter most. If you tell me that one of the 3 most talented players at their position in the league is a shoo-in for 10 plus targets, and I need a measly 79 yards to cash, I'm taking that line 10 out of 10 times and twice on Sundays. Well, technically twice on Mondays since they play on Monday night this week, but regardless, 78.5 receiving yards is just too low for Jamar Chase. He's crossed that line in 6 out of his last 7 games, including last week against this same Baltimore Ravens team, same matchup, same building. I'm smashing this line, and that is pick 1 out of 3 for today's video. You guys know the drill. Add it to the slip. If you guys are new to this channel and like what you see, man, drop a like on the video, help us out a bit, and subscribe to the channel. Honestly, Prizepicks was a little bit stingy with the lines that they have available this early in the week, so be on the lookout. We've got dedicated videos dropping for each day of NFL action. We'll have a Saturday props video, a Sunday props video, and a Monday props video as more lines become available. So if you are not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Our personal goal for this channel is to hit 1,000 subs by the Super Bowl. We're like 160 out. We've seen a lot of growth recently, so we greatly appreciate everybody who's been supporting us on this journey. We're going to keep the fire picks coming all this week and all throughout the NFL playoffs. Keeping it pushing here, we're going to stick with our theme of trusting what we know. And if you've been watching these videos every single week, you'd know that one of my favorite spots to attack week in and week out is the Minnesota Vikings pass defense. I trust that the Minnesota Vikings pass defense is absolutely ass. These dudes are legitimately cheeks, absolute cheeks. I don't know what else to say. They're checking in as the 31st ranked unit against the pass Minnesota Vikings, allowing a whopping 279.76 yards per game to opposing quarterbacks. This week, they get the New York Giants on deck, and I get it. Daniel Jones has been an inconsistent passer this season. He's thrown for less than 200 yards in 10 out of 16 games, but for this week specifically, this week, wildcard weekend in the NFL, this line is easily 20 to 30 yards too low. This is going to be one of the first lines that gets bumped, I think, at least, and it's probably coming sooner rather than later. Like, people are going to look and just see that these 2 teams played each other 3 weeks ago. Danny Dimes threw for 334 yards, one of only 2 times this season that he went over 3 stacks. It makes sense because the Vikings have inflated the passing numbers of opposing quarterbacks all season long. I think we see that again this week. And one spot, I'll just say this now, that I think we'll see some huge edge on later in the week will be the yardage lines of the ancillary Giants Giants wide receivers. Right now, Darius Slayton is the only one up at 48.5, which honestly, I mean, I think that looks relatively good, but I think that the bigger edge is going to come later in the week, probably around Thursday or Friday when lines drop for Isaiah Hodgins and Richie James, and something in my gut is just telling me that those lines are going to open way too low. I envision them opening around 25 to 35 yards, in which case both lines are going to get smashed. But like I said already, we'll have dedicated videos for each day of NFL action this weekend as these props go live, so make sure you keep an eye open for that, as well as our Discord chat where we post lines and bets that we're taking all week early before we have a chance to upload things. So really great way to keep up to date with everything that we are betting. Right here, right now though, keep it on track. Daniel Jones 205.5. I think the over is a smash. It is honestly my favorite prop on the board right now. Lock it in. And finally, for the last prop in today's video, we've hit a passing line, we've hit a receiving line. Now let's take a look at the best rushing line on the board here on Tuesday. Travis Etienne over 70.5 rushing yards. While technically this is Etienne's second season in the league, it played more like a rookie year for the former first-round pick who missed the entirety of 2021 with an injury. In his first year of true NFL action, Etienne racked up 1,125 rushing yards despite having the poorer record between the two teams. Jacksonville is a division winner, so the 9-8-4 seed Jags will host the 10-7 Chargers on Saturday night. Now, when you think about the worst rush defenses in the NFL, off the top of your head, you know, Texans come to mind. I think about the Bears, the Packers, maybe the Browns, but quietly and perhaps under the radar, the Chargers. The Chargers actually allow the second most rushing yards per game to opposing running backs, 127.29 on average, and the crazy, or maybe not so crazy thing, is that they do this somewhat intentionally. I think you see this often with analytically minded teams, the Chargers being a great example of that. The numbers will tell you that passing the ball is more optimal in today's league. You have a better expectation for yards gained on the average pass play than the average run play. So you'll see this happen with teams like the Chargers who embrace this philosophy. They play defense in a style that invites opposing offenses to roll out a more run-centric game plan against them. Allow them to run the ball, limit efficiency in the passing game. You can tell that that's how the Chargers feel on a philosophical level as an organization, because conversely, on offense, they barely run the ball. They have the second highest pass rate in the league. That's what they believe works, and so that's what they want to limit other teams from doing to them. I think the Chargers are going to dare Jacksonville to try and beat them on the ground here, and because of that, Etienne has a really good shot at a big game. Keeping it a full buck here, man, I've got the Jags winning this game straight up. I think Travis Etienne has 100 yards rushing on the ground, and that's a big reason why. So that's going to be the final prop for today's video. Jamar Chase over 78.5 receiving, Daniel Jones over 205.5 passing, and Travis Etienne over 70.5 rushing. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today. Like I said, we will have dedicated Prizepicks videos dropping for the rest of the NFL playoffs, including this week, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. If you're not already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'm going to get some of these props in right here, right now, before they get bumped. I see we've got our first taco of the day up. Let's get this money, man. We'll be back later in the week. Until then, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Talk to you on the next one.